on that camera, know that we are recording these sessions, and some of them will be put up on YouTube. There might be some other digital or print media by the Regional English Language Office or the U.S. Embassy in Lima, the U.S. Department of State, in order to promote exchange programs and public diplomacy efforts. So if you...
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm very happy to be here today with you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Maritere. Welcome, Katarzyna. It was really nice to meet so many people yesterday. I was on the networking section and was able to meet people from Ecuador, from Nepal. I especially remember Manehari. I don't know if he is here, but I really had a nice conversation with him. So I think, this kind of events is really like a good opportunity for us to connect. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. And if you haven't really checked out the networking section yet, definitely do it because it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's like a speed dating.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts. I enjoy that too.
Yeah. And for people who like talking like me, I mean, it's just fabulous. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, as I was saying, like yesterday, I participated in some sessions. So I really learned a lot. And what about you? You can tell us on the chat if you have learned something, something that you still remember, something that resonated with you and your experience. You can share that. And also, at the same time, you can tell me, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling? In one word, how are you feeling today? And you can share that also on the chat. It could be one word or 2 words if you want, maximum. How are you feeling today? Myself, I'm feeling really good, because I'm here with you and I have this great opportunity to connect with all of you. And I know you're all over the world, so that's amazing. It's really amazing. So I think we are ready to start. And something that I would like to say is that I'm here in La Paz, Bolivia. So if you have never heard of Bolivia, this is a great opportunity to get to know a Bolivian person, okay? And yeah, so I'm here in La Paz and I've been teaching for several years now, and I really, really, really love teaching, and I love chocolate too. So said that, if you have any suggestions for chocolate in your countries, any specific name, please share that as well, because I love chocolate, especially love Bolivian chocolate. And Maritere, who's here with us in the session, knows that. All right, so are you ready to start? Because I'm ready. All right, so let's do it. I'm gonna start sharing my presentation there. Okay, so this session is about Edutubing and language coaching. So I'm very also excited because the entire session will be about, kind of something new that I tried. So it's about my experience and of course, kind of exploring something new. So hopefully it will also resonate with you. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna just share it like that. Okay, good. So this is our agenda for today. So first we're gonna have some initial reflections. So I'm gonna ask you some questions. So if you could share your answers on the chat, that would be amazing. And then I'm gonna tell you the story behind all this idea of Edutubing and language coaching. And then we are gonna delve deeper into Edutubing and language coaching, of course. And kind of at the end, I'm gonna give you some additional tips, and then we are gonna do some final reflection. So as you may have noticed, I truly believe that reflection is important. And so that's why I'll be asking you some questions. So there is a quote here. It says, "Nothing happens until something moves," by Albert Einstein. So nothing happens until something moves. Keep that in mind, please, okay? Nothing happens until something moves. So now I'm gonna show you some questions, actually 4 questions. So based on that quote, I would like you to pick one question, okay? Your favorite one, or the one that is catching your attention right now. And you see the numbers there, right? So it could be 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Sorry, let me jump in. Right now, we're just seeing your first screen, the Edutubing and language coaches. Are you switching slides?
Yes, I'm switching slides. So give me 1 second.
Yeah.
All right.
There it is. Now we can see what you're seeing.
It's okay?
Yes, perfect.
All
Good
right.
now.
All right, wonderful. Okay, great. So we have question number 1, question number 2, 3, and 4, right?
Yeah.
So you can pick your favorite one or the one that is catching your attention, okay? And you can answer any of them on the chat box.
Yeah. Would you mind
All
showing?
right,
We
so
didn't get to read the Albert Einstein quote. Is there any way that you could pull that up?
Of course, no problem. Yes, I'm gonna get back. Yeah, this is the quote.
Okay.
Nothing happens until something moves.
Something moves.
And yeah, when you're presenting, you have to change the slides too.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so there you go. So if you have any answers to share, that will be amazing. All right. I don't see any answers. I'm going to give you some more time to think about them. So what do you think about Albert Einstein's quote? And what is it telling you? Or number 2, are you inclined to take risks? And why? Or can you share some risks you have taken when teaching? Great.
So
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Eddie's saying it's telling that one should be active. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have to be active. So that's good. Any other answer that you might have?
To add to that, I think sometimes we think that we can just continue doing the same thing and get different results. And while, sometimes that does work out that way, usually it doesn't. Usually you have to try something new, and maybe that's where you're going with the idea of risks, because you have to take risks. There has to be sometimes there's some fear of failure that might happen. And, but that's the idea of moving, I think, that you're getting at.
Yeah, exactly. And we have some answers also from Dinah. She says, like, start my online class. That's number 3. That's a risk, of course. And actually, everybody's taking risks right now. Like you guys, me, Dominic, everybody.
Yes.
Right? So we are all taking risks together. And also, Katarzyna says, the biggest risk I've taken was switching from one-on-one classes to group ones while teaching privately. Wow, yeah. So there you go. So we are always taking risks, and this session is about that. Okay, mainly about that. And if you want to keep on sharing your answers, go ahead, please. No problem. I'm going to share one more. Cynthia says we could connect to students more when you use materials that they find interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. How can you connect with your students, right? Wonderful. So I'm going to switch, and Dominic, tell me if it is really like changing.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
Yeah, right.
What about now?
Yep, it's on the story.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, yeah. So, why did I ask you all these questions? And you can keep on answering, Why did I ask you this? Because this session is all about taking risks and being vulnerable. And it's because I try something new. I'm trying something new. And as you have seen, trying something new, like teaching online, is not that easy. So, when you take a risk, you are being vulnerable. So keep that in mind as well. So the story behind all this idea of edutubing and language coaching is that I realized that my students needed more from me. I wanted to support them even more. And I realized that teaching, traditionally, or teaching just the language, focusing only on the language, might not be enough, especially nowadays. Even though we are surrounded by technology, we have to be, we have to know about tech tools and all that. There is more there to learn about how to connect with people. So that's why I decided to start kind of this project. So let me show you what were some steps that I took. All right, so my first step actually was taken in 2016 when I decided to give a motivational talk, okay? So since that year, I've been giving motivational talks at least once a year. In some years, probably 2 times. And this has been the beginning of the entire project. Why? Because when you're learning a language, when you're learning English, you have to consider that some people might think that they are not able, they can't learn a language. And so those beliefs really affect the way you will, acquire the language. So I think it's very important to consider that. And that's why I thought I want to support my students even more. And I was happily surprised to see that on the first talk in 2016, I had a lot of students interested in the talk. And yeah, that was a big surprise for me because it was the first time doing something that was that different. Also, the story starts because I was, inspired by different sources, by books, by talks on YouTube, by different things. So I'm going to mention a couple of them. The first one is a book that I strongly recommend you to read, and it's actually here. I'm going to show it to you if you can see me. It's called Mindset, and this book was written by a psychologist, an American psychologist. Her name is Carol Dweck. And when I read her book, I realized that, yes, so, you are teaching a language, but you're also teaching some kind of a mindset. So some people believe that, once you're born, you are already done, like nothing can change. But if you have a growth mindset, that means that you can still learn things, even if those things seem to be difficult. The other book that I also recommend you to read is Fluent Forever by Gabriel Weiner. Gabriel Weiner is a polyglot, and he's a language coach too. And of course, he's an author, and I'll show you the book too. Okay, ooh, it's here. Yes,
I can echo that.
So
one.
Fluent,
I'm currently reading it, and it's really, really good.
Yeah, it is. It is good. So he also inspired me to keep on going with all these ideas that are not, common, probably not yet here in South America, but yes, in the world. So also, I don't know if you have heard of Jaime Escalante. Jaime Escalante was a Bolivian math teacher who moved to the US, and he actually ended up being the source of inspiration for a movie. And the movie is called Stand and Deliver. It's an 80s movie. I also suggest you to watch it. And I truly believe that Jaime Escalante was a big source for me, a big inspiration source, because I was able to, learn so much from him. And he already passed away, but still he's there, and we can learn so much from him. Also, there is this last lecture by Randy Posh. He was a professor, an American professor. You can find his talk on YouTube if you just Google like that. And I strongly recommend you to watch it as well. And then, I'm a Fulbright scholar. I was so fortunate to be able to go to the States to complete a master's degree. And my Fulbright mission says that I have to help people to, to understand each other, actually. So this mission also inspired me to do all this. And definitely my current and former students who have inspired me to kind of take risks and do something different. All right, so keep those ideas in mind so you might also get inspired. Now, I told you about these motivational talks that I gave, and this is one. In 2018, I was able to organize a series of talks with different Fulbrighters here in Bolivia, and I gave one of them. And so, of course, the title was Secrets to Learn English. And you can find this talk on the Facebook page of the U.S. Embassy. And the link is right there. And also Dominique, I think, is going to share the link. And yeah, if you're interested in learning more about this kind of motivational talks, you can check it out. And I was also happy because since 2018 up to now, it has been seen like over 7,000 times. And so it has reached a lot of people. So that's the power of internet. That's the power of sharing things. So yeah, if you're interested, you can also check it out. And then what happened is that I created a Facebook group. So I really went, step by step. I created a Facebook group first. The name of this entire project is Go Multilingual Bolivia. And this group only, my only objective was to help my students, to support them with more tools that they could find online, free tools, or, just answering questions that they might have. So that's how everything started as well, like after the motivational talks, or simultaneously also. And then I created a Facebook page with the same name. You can find this Facebook page as well with the name Go Multilingual Bolivia. And yeah, so it's a community. And our main objective is this. It's a community that shares and promotes a passion for learning languages, acquiring intercultural skills, and embracing a global mindset. And that's what we have been doing since we created this community. Additionally, because some other organizations have believed in our ideas, we were able to organize monthly sessions at a private university. The name is Universidad Privada Boliviana here in La Paz. And also Education USA, which is a governmental office from the States. They also supported this idea. So these people, this youth, was able to meet and just practice English, practice French, practice different languages. And we use a different methodology, mainly based on language coaching. And also I wanted to tell you a little bit about, the people, that are part of the team. The person you see here on the picture is Nancy Aruquipa. She was one of my students. She's a former student. So that's the beauty of this project, because I get to keep on working with my students. So they believe in the project as well, and they have been very supportive. And we have been creating so many things, and we have been learning together. This is a picture of one of our sessions, the second session we had. And yeah, I think overall we have reached probably over 300 people in all these months that we have been having the sessions. Of course, this year we stopped because of the pandemic. So we had our last session, face-to-face session, happened in February. But we kept on working. We kept on working online. So, said that, that's the story behind. And now, why am I telling you all this? Because there is a big trend that started a couple of years ago on, of course, YouTube, on internet, and this is called Edutubing. So, in order to understand Edutubing, probably we could understand what a YouTuber is, okay? So I found this definition on Cambridge Dictionary. A YouTuber is a person who often uses the website YouTube, of course, especially someone who makes and appears in videos on the website, okay? Now that we understand that, and I'm sure you are familiar with, YouTubers. And if you have a favorite YouTuber, you can share that also on the chat box, okay? And now, so what is an EduTuber? An EduTuber is a YouTuber who teaches. EduTubers have created a huge community of creators who share their knowledge on a variety of fields, not only English, but different languages, different fields like math. One of my favorite EduTuber is Salman Khan. He created Khan Academy. You can find his channel on YouTube as well, especially about science, math, physics. But he's also teaching language as well. So every individual, in any corner of the world can learn for free because of this. This is part of an article that was published on La Nación newspaper last year, and it was written by Pablo Gutierrez. And then, so EduTubers are really making a revolution, And also EduTubers are democratizing the learning process because people get access to free education and they can learn at their own pace. So you're part of this because this session and all the sessions of the conference will be uploaded into YouTube. So we are part of this revolution, and that's really nice. I'm happy about that. Also, I wanted to share some numbers behind because probably, the word edutubing or language coaching seem to be a little bit different, but we have to understand also that there are numbers behind. Edu videos are the most searched on YouTube at an international level, so more than music and games. And 7 out of 10 YouTube users logging in to learn something. There are 2,000 million users. So keep that in mind, 7 out of 10 YouTube users logging in to learn something. So people are really, they really want to learn. They want to do it also on their own. They want to take responsibility for their own learning. 1 million videos with educational purposes are shared every day as well. And in 2018, how-to videos were viewed for 4,500 hours. So, these stats will really say everything. This information was also published on this article by Pablo Gutierrez on La Nación newspaper last year. So it's really recent. Now, remember I told you about the story, how we started, and we also, of course, created a YouTube channel. So I wanted to share the creation process behind. And this probably will help you also, even if you don't want to do edutubing or, language coaching, this could also be helpful for your courses. Yesterday, I attended Jeff Koon's session, and he really emphasized the fact that we have to design our courses, that we have to take the time to think about all the different steps. And probably this could also be a model for you. So the first step that I take when I make videos is to identify a problem or need. So this could happen based on your experience teaching. You identify a problem, something that is happening in your classes, and you want to find a solution for that problem. So you can base this on your own experience. You can base on something that caught your attention as well, or also on your own interest. So you will be more motivated to make the video. After this step, you have to draft the idea. So how do you do this? You have to choose a particular point you want to address in the video. So, when you're making a video, they can really be, videos can be really long. So you have to be specific. You have to pick just one point so you can really, make sure that people will understand it. Then you have to think about the sequence as well. And then, of course, make it short, as I said before, and also think outside of the box. So you have to be very creative. And probably it will be just, a process as well. Probably the first time you won't have so many ideas, but the next time you will get more and more. And that's all about, learning and also teaching. So we have to go, step by step and just, believing in ourselves and, trying to be creative and think outside of the box. The last step will be to tape the video. So you shoot the scenes of the video according to your plan, right? That's why you drafted the idea. This might require many takes, so you have to be patient, right? You have to be patient with yourself. You have to be patient. If you have a team, you also have to be patient with the team. But definitely it will be worth it. And then you get to edit the video, and then you have a final product. So that will be the process. Now, let me show you this. This is a picture of my first video, okay? And I followed that kind of process. I focused on one specific point, and because I identified a problem. So, and you can share also on the chat if you have identified, problems that your students might have when learning English. One of the problems that I identify is that sometimes, students can't really pronounce the ed ending in the past verbs. So that's what I did for my first videos. I focused on that. So I tried to find a solution, doing something, differently. So on the first videos, you will see that I'm not even looking at the camera, especially the first one. So it's, it's just a learning process. And then in the next videos, you will see that I was able to make improvements. So I think, Dominique, you have the link to the channel, right?
I'll put it in
All
right now.
So yeah, you can share it, and you guys, I mean, you can watch it. Maybe you can just check it out now, like check the titles maybe of the videos. If not, you can check it out later as well. Yeah, so why am I saying this? Because I'm sure you have heard this idea of practice makes perfect, right? Yeah, I used to believe in that too, but then I actually was lucky enough to have a course with a brain coach whose name is Jim Quick, and he says that actually practice makes progress. And I think that is true. I think that sometimes we are so harsh on ourselves and we want perfection. And then because of that, we sometimes don't take risks. And I think the most important thing is to actually practice. Practice makes progress. Make progress is the most important thing. All right. And yeah, this is also a screenshot of all the YouTube channel. I mean, you can get access to the website as Dominic shared that, or you can just check some examples here. There are many videos. One of the most popular videos was about encouragement phrases, like keep it up, hang in there. So that was very popular because people want to be motivated. We want motivation. All right. And we are also working on many other things, especially because of the lockdown and the pandemic. We decided to create open sessions on Facebook Live and also on Zoom, and then uploading those Zoom videos on our Facebook page. And these sessions were just free sessions for anybody interested. So we wanted to do that to support Bolivian youth mainly, but of course the videos are there and they can support anybody in the world. So we actually focus on some grammar points like modal verbs or phrasal verbs, which are really challenging to teach. And also some vocabulary lessons as well, like how to greet in English besides saying how are you. So these sessions were very popular. So probably over, 1,000 people have seen them. And so they are still available there. They are free. You can get access to them. And these are on our Facebook page, by the way, Go Multilingual Bolivia. So if you go to Facebook, you can look them up. And a little bit more. So in the past months, because of a very, really bad news that we got here in Bolivia, the school year was canceled here in Bolivia. I don't know if you knew that. And that was really like a big blow for me as an educator, and of course for everybody in Bolivia. So I really wanted to take action and do something to help youth to keep on learning things. So what we did is to design these interviews with world citizens. And the objective is to help people to understand other countries, other cultures, to also learn how these people were able to learn different language, mainly English, right? And how they were able to adapt to a new culture. So these interviews have been very popular. So we probably have got probably over 1,500 views so far. And yeah, so this definitely meets the the goals that we have as a community, to help people understand each other better and to be open to others, to be curious about what is out there. So I really recommend you to watch them, and also you can use them as a teaching tool, because all the interviews were conducted in English. And you know that English nowadays is a global language. I think English belongs to the world now. So, said that, we have to be able to understand other people's English accents, and I think we have to embrace them so we can have, a better understanding about what's happening in the world. So you're welcome to check out also the interviews that are on our Facebook page. Okay, so now I would like to share with you the benefits for learners, okay, when using this Edutubing way of teaching. First of all, students can learn at their own pace. So this is self-paced learning. So they have the opportunity to really, watch a video, pause the video, rewatch it. And so they have control over it. And that is important. It's important to give people the opportunity to choose and to take responsibility for what they are doing to learn. And also, this is, easy access. It's on YouTube, so people can definitely, just go on YouTube and watch the video. This is also benefit because students can't really, there are many students who can't afford language classes or English classes. So this is part of this movement of free education, democratizing education for everybody in the world. It also helps learners to approach technology for educational purposes and not only for entertainment. So I don't know what happens in your countries, but I'm guessing, especially in South America, that probably youth is more interested in using WhatsApp, to communicate with friends, or use Facebook just to, share pictures. But probably we are not really seeing the true value of technology. So it's important to show that they can also learn on their own, and they can use technology for that purpose. And also it promotes autonomous learning. And autonomous learning is really important because it empowers the students. It helps the students to take responsibility and to also take the best tool, choose the best tool for them, the one that is going to work for them. And the benefits are not only for learners, but also for edutubers. If you are right now considering to become an edutuber, you can tell us also on the chat, okay? Or, if you're not, definitely consider it in the future, because it will give you space for creative work. So, of course, all of us English teachers are very creative. We gotta be creative in order to, lesson plan, to create new activities, to try new tech tools. We have to be creative, but being an edutuber entails really a lot of, space for this creative work. So if you're that kind of person who wants to do something creative, this will really work for you. And also you find new ways to teach. You are challenging yourself for as an educator. And also you are going to become a member of this free education movement that is really making a difference in the world. I mentioned this YouTube channel, and of course it's a platform as well, Khan Academy. This person is really making a big difference in the world, and he is a coach. You can also do consultant work. I'm currently working with Pearson to do some presentations as well, to train teachers in Bolivia. So you can get to have these opportunities. And also, of course, like now, you get invited or you are selected to participate in conferences. So you can keep on spreading your experiences and sharing information. Of course, you keep on learning as well. It could also become additional or your main income. So nowadays, it's important to think about reinventing yourself and to find new ways to do things. And if you want to increase your income, this will be also a good opportunity. And you're also contributing to the EFL, ESL fields, absolutely, because you are creating things. Okay, before we move to the next point, I like to try something with you, okay? I have been talking nonstop, and of course, you have been hearing us. Definitely, you can also, ask us questions if you have any questions or comments. But now what we're going to do is to take a brain break, okay? Have you ever taken a brain break? Well, if you have never taken a brain break, you, Dominique, have you ever taken a brain break?
No, I'm not even sure what that means.
No. Okay, so let's do it. It's super easy, okay? So what we're going to do right now is just to stop, okay? You stop, just to stop, all right? And now what we're going to do is breathe. And we're going to do it 3 times, okay? So let's start. 1, 2, and 3. And now the most important part, just be, okay? Okay, so this is a brain break, and this is also part of mindfulness. And mindfulness means to be present and just to be here, understanding with all your senses what's happening, okay? And whenever you're feeling anxious or, worried about things like now, we are going through a really difficult crisis, you can just stop, breathe, and be, okay? That is a brain break. Did you like it, Dominique?
I did. I feel calm now. I feel really relaxed.
Yeah, I know. And if you have any, comments on this, you can also keep on commenting on the chat box. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you so much. All right. So now we are gonna move to our next point, okay? So understanding language coaching, okay? And on this slide, you will see a picture. And this is part of also the tools that we use on our community to teach things. So this one will be to teach this phrase, go for it, okay? And encourage people to do things. So that's actually language coaching. All right. So English language coaching is all about helping and motivating learners to make their own decisions about their learning journey. So as I told you before, sometimes we kind of focus only on the language, that we are teaching on English, and all the, of course, parts of, teaching a language like, grammar, all the skills, right? Grammar, vocabularies, speaking, listening, etc. But actually, that's language, but we also need to focus on the person. So language coaching is about that. Your role is to help and motivate your learners. Whether you want to become a language coach, or you want to use this idea in your classes, I think it will definitely benefit your students and also you. This was said by Shanti Street, the winner of the British Council Teaching English Blog Award in 2014, and I totally agree with her. Now, some elements that language coaching entails are the following. The first one, meeting learners' particular needs. The second, considering learners as a whole. So, as language teachers, as English teachers, we always have our ups and downs, and that's normal because we are human beings. However, sometimes we forget that we are also working with other human beings. And we have to sometimes stay back and just take the time to reflect on that. And I think it's really an opportunity, and we should be grateful to be able to work with people. But it also entails responsibility. Responsibility because we have to see learners as a whole, not only as students who are learning a language, but as a whole. Also, as mentioned before, language coaching is mainly about providing motivation. Now I'm going to tell you more about this in detail, okay? So learners' needs. Something that is very important is to set personalized goals. So as an English teacher, I could have different goals for my students, and of course you too. And your institution might have also other goals. However, it's important to think about the students and help them to set personalized goals. For example, just a simple question: why are you learning English? And if you're working at a setting where, English is required, like my setting, I work at a university and learning English is a requirement, it could be very challenging. So you can still help your students to get these goals, even if they didn't, choose to take English. You can still help them. And you do that by, providing opportunities to get motivated about learning English and helping them to discover what goals they could have and what wonderful things you could do with English. Also, you have to listen to what the learner needs, So as a language coach, you have to really listen to what they need. And this is an ongoing process, of helping somebody to learn a language. For example, I've been coaching several students privately, and one of them has already taken the TOEFL, but he's not, he wants to do more, so he wants to study in England. So now we keep on working so he can improve his English skills, but especially academic skills. So this is an ongoing process. One might think that once you take an exam, like the TOEFL test, then, I'm done with English. But, it's an ongoing process, and that really depends on the person. So this student and I think we really make a good team, because he is really, he likes challenges. And so because he wants to study abroad, he wants to, really get better and to have like confidence in, whenever he speaks English. So yeah, this process is really nice, this ongoing process. And then also, language coaching entails to support students' learning by using real material mainly. And this is also part of my pedagogy. I believe that it's important to expose the students to real content, real material, because now it's easier to find it. So you just have, everything is online. So you just need to guide the student. Also, language coaching is about traditional, the fact that traditional textbooks are not usually used. So, when you work at an institution, at a university, at a school, you have to follow certain, curriculum, or you have to use certain book. But that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is, you're a student first, and his or her goals, and also the design of this process as well. So using traditional textbooks are kind of not part of language coaching. All right, so I'm going to continue. Now, I want to tell you a little bit more about, goal setting, because according to Eric Jensen, in this great book, and it's definitely a book that I recommend too, it's Brain-Based Learning. He says that, goal setting increases performance. So once the student has identified a goal, the student will be able to make more progress. So his performance, her performance will be better. And, the best goals are student-generated goals. And also 3 keys to learner goal acquisition is learner's beliefs, emotions, and goals. And, beliefs, we talked about that before when I told you about this book, Mindset. There is science behind the fact that if you believe that you can't do something, yes, you're right, you can't do it, because you're telling your mind that you can't. So for example, if I say, hey, I can't cook. So yeah, that's going to become a reality because your mind is powerful. So your beliefs will, set your path. So if you have beliefs that are kind of negative, then this will turn out to be reality. But if you say, I think, I believe I can learn a language. Yes, you can. And then emotions. Emotions are important. At the beginning of this session, I asked you, how are you feeling today? Because that is important. I think it's important to stop and kind of identify how you're feeling in order to be able to accept what is coming up. So for learning, if the students can understand what kind of emotions they are, feeling, it will be easier for them to, learn something new. And the goals, of course, their own goals. And as I was telling you before, these beliefs are called personal agency beliefs. And definitely this is related to, the idea of how powerful your mind is and how powerful you can be if you change that. Okay? All right, so we keep on going. Now, learners as a whole. I mentioned this before, but we can go step by step. Definitely use a humanistic approach. So seeing your students as other human beings, people who have stories behind, and, being patient, because even though we have our own goals as English teachers, the students are going through many different things, especially now. So we have to have this, we have to use this humanistic approach. Also, we gotta kind of, give power to our students, empower them instead of putting all the power on us, right? So they can keep on making progress. And also help learners take responsibility for their own learning, definitely. And you will see a quote here: languages cannot be taught, they can only be learned. This was said by Luca Lampariello. He's a language coach and a polyglot. He speaks 11 languages. And I think this quote is true. Yes, I'm an English teacher. I teach English, and you are also English teachers. However, the decision of learning lies on your student. And so you can definitely, help your students to find that motivation to say, yes, I want to learn. And that's also our role. And that's why language coaching is important. Now, the last point, motivation, which I think is always key. You don't do things if you're not motivated. You're here right now in this conference because you were motivated to learn something new and to try something new. So congratulations. That means that you are a really good teacher. You are a teacher who cares. And your students are very lucky to have you. And motivation, if you want to help your students with this, you have to be an active listener. You have to just stop and listen to your students, not only about, the class, but also about their stories. Especially if you're a language coach, it's very important to listen to what the student is saying. Also, you can use your intuition. We human beings are not rational. We are emotional beings. And science has also proved and backed up in recent years that every decision we make, we don't make them because of a rational, kind of thought, but actually we make those decisions based on our emotions. So use your intuition because it's powerful. Then also support learners' inner motivation, of course. So if you have listened to your students, then you know what motivates them internally. So you can motivate them even more. Use your experiences. You are seasoned English teachers. You have been teaching for many years. So you can use all these experiences to support your students even more. And be Mickey. I don't know if you have seen this movie. If you have seen it, you can tell us on the chat box. It's one of my favorite movies. I also like boxing and all the stories behind boxers. And I think, being Mickey, the coach there, means that you are really playing a very important role in somebody else's success. And this is for your students, right? But for you, as a coach, as an English teacher, you also need motivation. So, find sources of motivation, find sources of inspiration, maybe a song, maybe a TED Talk, maybe a video on YouTube, maybe a book, maybe a person, maybe an experience. So you can keep feeling motivated to do the things you do. And also try mindfulness. Today we tried it and you did a good job. And yeah, mindfulness is all about being present, being here, and being aware of what's happening around you at the moment without worrying about the future or the past. So you can really enjoy the moment. Also push yourself because you're amazing. I'm so happy to be here with you today and having this experience with you, because these past months have been so trying, so challenging for all of us, but still we are here, in March, April, May, we have been really like sunning it up, like really trying to figure out things. But here we are still here and we are still learning. We are still finding ways to help our students better, so we can even push ourselves even more and try new things. Definitely enjoy the process as well. And some additional tips. Take one step at a time, but do take action. So whichever goal you have for the future, whether you want to do edutubing or language coaching or something else, just take one step at a time, but do take action. Remember our quote at the beginning, nothing happens if nothing moves, right? So we have to take action. Don't be afraid of making mistakes, right? Don't be afraid of making mistakes, because everybody makes mistakes, everybody. And ask for support, because I'm sure there are people there who can support you. And I have been very fortunate because I have a team that supports me. Also, the U.S. Embassy in La Paz believes in many things I do, so I feel supported. And you guys, Rilo Andis, I'm so grateful because you have also supported this presentation. And definitely just have fun. Okay, so we are about to finish. I have some final reflection questions. So I'm so interested in knowing what you think about this. You can choose one question, your favorite one, or the one that is catching your attention, and then answer that on the chat. And I think I have Jessica with us as well. I don't know if Jessica is hearing us. Yeah,
Wow.
Jessica? Oh, hey. Hi, Jessica. Where are you from?
I'm from Honduras.
Honduras. That's great. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So, yeah, Jessica, if you could pick one question, which one will you pick?
I really can't see the questions very well, but
Okay, I'm gonna make it bigger.
okay.
I think to make it bigger, you'll double click on the screen. But while you're thinking, I do have a question for you, and maybe then after that, that'll give Jessica some time to think about things. I'm curious.
Absolutely.
I really liked what you had to say about edutubing. For those of us, I think there's a part of that's a little bit intimidating, which is actually the creation of something, the creation of content. I don't have that much background in editing videos or putting things like that together. Can you describe that process? Did you go in with that knowledge? Did you have to learn it on the fly? How did you go about doing that?
Yeah, of course. Actually, I was very lucky because as I told you before, I have a team, and Nancy is the person who's in charge of editing the videos.
Okay.
But we do work together on the the shooting and the process of drafting the ideas. And yeah, but definitely, you can also make videos without editing. And I have made those videos. I didn't mention that, but I make videos for my students at the university. These are pre-recorded sessions because I think students also need variety. So having just live sessions with the students might be tiring for them. So if you pre-record some of them, it's kind of another way to provide variety. And those videos I just use Zoom.
Yeah.
And I have a PowerPoint presentation and just go, over the points. But I know that I'm talking to an audience, so you have to know your audience as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but you can do that as well. And many language coaches and edutubers do that. They don't make a lot of editing work. They just, explain something. I don't remember the name, but there is a Colombian edutuber, a Colombian edutuber, and he just, he has a whiteboard, and he just records the videos like that. He doesn't do a lot of editing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's another possibility.
Yeah, along those lines, I'm a Spanish language learner. I'm still in the mud.
Yeah.
I speak some. I'm conversational, but I'm still learning. And I do use, sometimes there will be videos of people just going around and interviewing people. So there's a Colombian that I watch that does that. And that's so helpful because she'll bring the conversation to a point where I can understand it, I can follow. So it's not just a conversation that I'm watching. So there's active, there's the communication style is usable, but it's not edited at all. It's just a conversation between about something. And I found that immensely helpful.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, there are so many different ways you can do this. It's not, if you go to my YouTube channel, you will see something, but it's not something that if you don't want to do that, or if you don't have the skills to do that yet, I really want to emphasize the yet, because you can also learn it, right? You can do it the, kind of simple way. And that's again, creation. So I think it's important to create, especially in South America. I think we have to believe in our creation power. We have to start creating. Yes. So I don't know if anybody has any answer to the questions. I'm going to make it bigger.
We have one from the chat that I could bring in. Eddie,
sure.
Eddie asks, how much time was the longest to record one of your videos?
Oh, yes. So this is important. I think the shorter, the better. So I think the longest might be 7 minutes, probably. But I try to keep it to 5 or less than that.
5.
So people can really, connect, and they can also just really learn something. Because if it is too long, then they might lose interest.
Awesome.
Yeah, so if we don't have any answers to the final reflection, no problem. You can still reflect on your own. What was interesting or shocking for you? Will you try edutubing and language coaching, both or one of them? What's your biggest takeaway, and what are your next steps? So you can do it at home, no problem. You can just take mental notes and reflect on this. But it's important to reflect, on the things we get to experience and learn.
Yeah.
All right, just to finish, yes, before the questions, if there is any other question, I just want to tell you that we should all stay positive, okay? Stay positive. You are doing a good job. We are all doing a good job. And this is my contact information. If you want to contact me, just feel free to use any of these channels, the email or Facebook, or just go to the YouTube channel, etc. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here with me.
Thank you so much, Monica. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for being here. I found this immensely helpful. It was really, really nice to hear from you. And I think it made this idea of edutubing a little bit less intimidating. Before I would not have. It's a little scary, right? And I think that was a good idea to start with the idea of taking risks, because to me it would be a risk.
Yeah.
There's so many people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And also like let it sink in, like maybe, okay, today you're like, oh,
Yeah.
and then tomorrow you will be, oh, I want to do this.
Right.
Right. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much, Jessica, too. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Cyril, Eddie, John, Maritere, everybody who was here with me today.
Yeah.
And hopefully it was helpful. Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right, guys. I do want to point out that next up, we're just going to have a time where you can go networking or you can go to the expos. If you haven't tried networking yet, then that's a really great tool to meet people. Monica, I think you've tried it, right?
Yeah.
So you just go in and you'll link up and you'll have a short time to talk with someone and then maybe give your information out. It's a good way to meet people because communities, it's very hard to do right now. And so take a look at that. There's also vendors available at the expo hall. So go take a look at that. If you're hungry, here's a great time to grab some lunch. But thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And we'll see you at the next event. Thank you, Monica.
Yes, thank you. Bye. Take care.
Bye.